Hello and welcome. I am Jasmine Robertson and I am here to give you a speech, and here's the outline I created to make it happen. Baloney, bus stops, and bad grammar. 3 extremely random things, but all 3 are things that Weird Al Yankovic has written a song about. Now, who is Weird Al? Well, Weird Al is a world-renowned parody artist, and he's probably parodied a couple of songs that you've heard before. He's done things like Bad, Another One Bites the Dust, and even Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. He's ventured into almost every single musical genre, and sometimes his songs end up becoming more popular than the originals. Now, how does one become a parody artist? Well, when Weird Al was born in Linwood, California, he was born to 2 extremely overprotective parents. On top of that, he was also 2 years younger than all of his classmates, and he played the accordion. So he didn't really have very many friends. And since he had plenty of time to be alone, he just kind of hung out in his room and listened to the Dr. Demento show and just kind of vibed there. The Dr. Demento show was a radio show that showcased all the zany and weird music that definitely was not popular at the time, and Al loved it. He loved it so much he was still listening to it by the time he reached the University of California to study architecture. By that point, Al was like, okay, I think I can send in my own music and we'll just see what happens. So he went into a bathroom and recorded My Bologna, which is a parody of My Sharona, and sent it in. Dr. Demento and his fans loved it. So much, Weird Al ended up getting a record deal after this. And you know, things haven't always been all peaches and cream for Weird Al after that. Like, he still suffered lows and highs, but he kept going. Another thing Weird Al kept doing as he made records is he continued to ask permission before he wrote parodies. By law, you don't have to ask the artist, but Weird Al always did, just to make sure all the artists were completely okay with him tweaking their masterpiece. And only a couple of people have ever told him no outright, like Prince and Paul McCartney. But other times there's just been miscommunication. Like with Coolio, for example. Coolio has a song called Gangster's Paradise, and Al wanted to turn it into Amish Paradise, and he thought he had the okay to do this. Apparently Coolio was not Coolio with this, because not too long after Amish Paradise dropped, he said that he had never given Al permission to make the song. Eventually they patched it up, but if you ever met Coolio, I don't recommend mentioning Amish or Paradise to him. Another thing Al continued to do was create weird, crazy music videos that once again, sometimes end up being more popular than the originals. And along with parodies, Al also writes other types of music. He's written original songs like Dare to Be Stupid and Albuquerque, and he writes polkas. And for his polkas, he takes lyrics out of popular songs and mashes them together and adds a ton of accordion and makes just this huge super song. And not only that, but Weird Al's also an actor. He's been on The Goldbergs, Milo Murphy's Law as the title character Milo Murphy, and on The Simpsons, just to name a few. He's also written his own movie. He wrote UHF in the 80s and basically made it a huge parody of all sorts of movies and mashed it together to create a plot. And not only that, he also writes books. He's written 2 books within the past 10 years, and I think they topped the New York Times chart. And today, Al still tours. Well, not when we're in the middle of a global pandemic, but when we're not in a pandemic, he gives tours, and he still has time for his family, which includes his wife Suzanne and his daughter Nina. And he's still creating music right now. Like, only a couple of days ago, he launched a song with Portugal the Man. It was a Feel It Still remix, so basically Al turned it into a polka, but like modern. So, and it seems to be doing pretty well. Overall, in conclusion, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you've heard about this, revolutionary singer. Like, he's been around since the 80s. He's not easily forgotten. And I hope you've learned a little bit about him, and maybe you found a new artist to listen to. Thank you again for coming to my TED Talk. See you later.